It's not polite to hit a lady.
With everyone seemingly rejoicing of the news that Wonder Woman is going to be appearing in the new Batman vs. Superman film, really, that's still the best title they can come up with. Anyway, nobody asked the question of, what if the movie's actually, bad? Or if it bombs at the box office, then what? Yet for all the talk of the need for a She-Hulk, Wonder Woman, Ms. Marvel, Spider-Woman, or Black Widow movie, there's many asking the question, what's taken so long? It's not an easy question to answer, but part of the problem lies in that traditionally, female superheroes don't sell nearly as well to an audience. To this day, Linda Carter still stands out as the most memorable portrayal of Wonder Woman on television. Yes, it was campy and over the top, but remember, this was the 70s. But it actually wasn't the first attempt to bring a female superhero to life on television. In 1967, producer William Dozier, hot on the heels of the success of his Batman series, planned to bring Wonder Woman to television with a series entitled Who's Afraid of Diana Prince? The series was to star Ellwood Walker as Diana, who 2 years later would appear in the film Easy Rider, and Linda Harrison as Wonder Woman, who was most noted for her role as Nova in the film Planet of the Apes. The pilot was never broadcast, and the project has now become an interesting footnote in television history. A total of 5 minutes of test footage was shot and shopped to CBS, who promptly turned it down. In 1974, ABC aired a Wonder Woman television movie as a backdoor pilot, this time starring Kathy Lee Crosby as Wonder Woman, and Ricardo Montalban cast as the villain Abner Smith. Smith, in the pilot, had stolen a list of the identities of U.S. government field agents. In this interpretation of Wonder Woman, she was blonde, exhibited no superpowers, and was more of a secret agent than a superhero. And she was more of an assistant to Steve Trevor, who was played by Kaz Garris. Gone was the iconic Wonder Woman costume in favor of something more, modest. The film drew respectable ratings, but not enough to turn it into a full-fledged series. As of 2012, Warner Brothers has made the film available on their online store. This, of course, paved the way for the Linda Carter television series, which was canceled after 3 seasons by CBS, not because of ratings, but because allegedly CBS didn't want to become known as the Superhero Network, even though it would continue to air The Incredible Hulk until 1981. In 2009, Warner Home Video released the DC animated version of Wonder Woman. This time, Diana was played by Felicity star Kerry Russell, and Steve Trevor was voiced by actor Nathan Fillion, best known for his role in Firefly. This version was closer to the traditional comic book, with the Amazonian society being isolated on the island of Themyscira, and Trevor, an Air Force pilot, crash landing accidentally, discovering their existence. According to producer Bruce Timm, the film initially received an R rating due to its graphic violence, and had to undergo several cuts to get it down to a more family-friendly level. The film was positively received, and is ranked among the best among the DC animated features. However, there's yet to be a sequel produced. In 2011, producer David Kelly, best known for his series L.A. Law and Ally McBeal, produced a Wonder Woman pilot for NBC. Kelly took it upon himself to make several changes to the character. This time, Diana Prince didn't work for a government agency in Washington, D.C. She was the CEO of a corporation called Themyscira in Los Angeles, and that was her last name as well. Her alter ego, Wonder Woman, was publicly known, and she served as an enforcer for the company. Her company makes action figures of her as Wonder Woman. Steve Trevor was an ex-boyfriend who leaves her before the series begins. And at night, she goes home and adopts her Diana Prince identity to maintain her privacy. This version of the character also seems to have no reservations about killing anybody. In the pilot episode, Elizabeth Hurley plays the head of a pharmaceutical company that is making performance-enhancing drugs, which are being used mainly by kids in poor neighborhoods, and it's up to Wonder Woman to stop her. While not completely horrible, producer Kelly seems to miss the mark, and attempts to turn Diana Prince into an awkward female mix of Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark. Wonder Woman is turned into a vigilante, bent on revenge, dealing out her own brand of street justice in a cheap-looking costume. Gee, I wonder who that reminds you of. Citing production costs, the pilot was not picked up by NBC. Later, efforts to shop the series to the Sci-Fi Channel also failed. All of which brings us to the upcoming Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Seriously, that's the best title I can come up with? Anyway, Fast and Furious star and former model Gal Gadot is slated to play Wonder Woman in the upcoming film, and is also scheduled to get her own standalone film as well. So you might be saying, If the character's been on television all this time, what's taken this long to get a movie? The answer always comes back to money. Female characters don't traditionally sell as well as male characters. The readership of comics skews largely male, and attempts to court a larger female audience often come across as being rather heavy-handed and gimmicky. Take the recent announcement by Marvel that it was making the mighty Thor into a woman. That announcement came on, of all places, the television program The View. Can anyone with a straight face honestly say that is their target demographic, and that will bring the number of female readers up to the same level as male readers? For all the talk of bringing more diversity to comics, and it's great to see more female representation in comics, these changes never seem to last. The curiosity seekers, the collectors, and the PC crowd may buy one issue, and they may stick with it for a little while. However, most, if not all of them, will not commit to actually buying the comic over the long term for various reasons, ranging from thinking it's too expensive or being too nerdy. After whatever bump in sales subsides, Marvel will eventually have to placate their regular audience. So expect Thor to return to normal right around the time Age of Ultron hits theaters. This is not a new problem. There's always been great female characters in comics. But at the same time, you can't lay the blame on the industry. At least not entirely. They're just responding to the market. There are positive signs that audiences are becoming more receptive to the idea of a female hero in a lead role in a movie, with the success of the recent movie Lucy, starring Scarlett Johansson, which is really just a de facto Black Widow movie. What's needed to grow a larger female audience aren't cheap publicity stunts, but better characters and more interesting plots, ones that readers will stick with. And hiring female writers that know the characters and can write compelling stories couldn't hurt any as well. See you next time.